What's up, everybody? We're going to get started with another live show today. It's Friday. It's time to party. I got something really cool for today. It's actually going to be a two-part episode because it's going to take a while to build this. We're talking about the best tournaments. What are the best tournaments out there? I'm going to wait for you guys to jump on the live stream, so the show will start in a few minutes. So feel free to kick back, say what up, drop a hi in the comments, drop some floating thumbs ups, hit that share button. You know the drill. Let's do it, guys. I'm going to be over here setting up the show for today. I got a couple of things here that I want to do. Oh, man, I'm excited for today. It's going to be a good one. What's the best tournaments in the world that you've ever been to? Start listing them right now in the comments. Just go for it. We'll just start talking. And also, the other topic we're going to talk about today is what is a good tournament? What makes a good tournament? Topic of the day. Boom, boom. You guys digging the music? I'm digging it today. I love this royalty-free stuff. Show's going to get started in a minute. Just waiting for more people to tune in. We're going to be talking about what the best tournament ever is. What makes the best possible experience at a martial arts tournament? That is the topic of today. I am so excited. I'm so excited that you guys are joining us. It's always a fun show. The more people that tune in, the more fun this show gets. So make sure you hit that share button. Hit the floating thumbs up. You know how the internet works. Do the internet stuff. Internet away. Come on, people. Let's go. I'm not going to start until I see a couple more people up and running on the live stream. You know how to wait. Come on, people. What up, Amy, Lacey? What up, Steven, Phil, Lacey, Alfonso, Carlos? How are y'all doing today? Yesterday, we started that Facebook group. I think all of you guys are in that Facebook group. So thank you for that. I'm excited that the show's gotten to a point where I can make a Facebook group. Thank you, Carlos. Shout out to Carlos Gonzalez. He invited just a ton of people, his own free will, just wanted to do it into the group. I really appreciate that, Carlos. I'm glad you support the show. It's fun to watch it grow. Today, we're talking about the biggest and best tournaments ever. What makes them the biggest and the best? You guys gave me submissions in the past 24 hours of your favorite tournaments, and we're going to be talking about those. And I'm going to be talking about a secret, crazy project that I got in the works. It's going to be fun. But, yeah. I'll wait till the show officially starts before we get going. Bonnie, what's up? Nathan, what's up? Orle, Bonnie. You're going to have to start saying Orle a lot. Bonnie Ross, everybody. Member of Hyper. She's in the chat. She's moving to Cozumel in a little bit. Go pursue her lifelong dream of swimming with the fishes, scuba diving in the best scuba sites in the world. Can't blame her. All right, guys, we're talking about the best tournaments in the world. Waiting for a couple more people to tune in. You know how this live stream thing goes. Got to warm up the crowd a little bit. Hit the share button so I can get started a little bit sooner. Share it up. Let's go, guys. And for those of you hitting that replay and watching later, just jump ahead. This is not the show. This is the warm-up to the show. Okay? You don't want to wait for that screen that says share the show. The show's about to start. It's black screen. All right. But if you're watching live, obviously, that's not here yet. You got to just stick with it. All right. Best show ever. Look at all those hearts and thumbs ups dropping. What's up, guys? Keep hitting that share button. Let's go. We got to get some more people in here. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, best. I got to drop in one graphic, keep it nice and simple today, and then, graphics-wise, at least. Today's an easy graphics day. I always try to make Friday a fun show, and I got some cool announcements for you guys about what's in the future for Live with Wolfman. We are stepping up our game here on the show. The more you guys participate, the more you show me love, the more I'm invested to keep making this show bigger and better. So thank you guys for tuning in. Phil, this is the pre-show. You guys are in the VIP section. You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to start a new thing that I should do. I'm going to drop my show, share the show in the group because that's where it belongs. Let's do it. As soon as I drop it in our new group, then I'm gonna get rocking and rolling. Let's do this. So I'm gonna put this in the share in the group. Thumbs up if you guys can hear me just fine, because I have music blasting in my ears, but I think I have it turned down for you guys. Give me hearts if you can hear the music. Give me sad faces if it's too quiet. Carlos just sent me a private message. He's working on getting me 500 people into the group. Carlos, that's insane, man. Do it. Don't invite weird people, though. I only want cool people in the group. All right. Too quiet, huh? Too quiet. All right, Alfonso, you'll go catch the replay, dude. But thanks for tuning in while you could. All right, it's time for the real show. Ladies and germs, it's time for the real show. All right. What up, everybody? You're watching Live with Wolfman. I'm your host, Jacob Wolfman, and this is a show about the things that I'm interested in, the things you're interested in. It's not a me show, it's a we show, which means it's a live stream. It involves participation from you guys. So the more you are involved and you're in the chat, you're hitting share, you're hitting like, the more the show grows, the better the experience, the more fun everybody has. Today we're talking about the best tournaments in El Mundo, in the world. What are the best tournaments in the world? What makes a good tournament? We're going to talk about all the good things about tournaments. And we can also talk about all the things that aren't so good about tournaments, because we want to just improve the sport here. We'll do it in a fun and positive way. And at the end of the show, I got a really big announcement. And this show is very pivotal in that announcement. So stay tuned for that big announcement. Couple housekeeping details here. You know what? I like that music. I'm going to let this music just fade a little bit in the background. All right. Couple announcements. Next week, the show is going to take a very risky but big leap forward in making the show a better experience. I'm really excited. I have no idea if this is going to work, but we are going to start having guests on the show. Super pumped about that. You don't have to just listen to me babble for an hour straight. You get to listen to two people babble for an hour straight. So next week I have, so far, 3 guests officially lined up. I have, first up, Jeff Doss, who is the president of NBL. He's also an amazing martial arts athlete in his own right. Jeff and I go way back. His history in the sport is he's like a walking, talking encyclopedia of the sport. And he's in one of the highest positions that you can be for promoting tournaments. So awesome first guest, super stoked. You guys can ask whatever questions you want to Jeff. We're going to kick back, chat. It's going to be great. We're also going to be having on Nathan Salmon. Nathan, am I pronouncing your name right? You've never told me how to say your last name. I'm going to just call you Urban Tricks. Nathan is a big name out in the UK, and he's going to be talking to us about the international scene. What's happening in the UK, what's happening in Ireland. We're going to be talking about all those competitors, because I don't live there, so I'm kind of in the dark. I'm really excited to see what the other side of the pond has got going on in the sport martial arts world. So that's super cool. And then we also have Adam Kiefer lined up on the show. Adam Kiefer, he owns Level Up Music, that new company that's taking the martial arts scene by storm. Level Up Music, they make musical forms music. They make synchronized. They have music for classes. So you line up you buy the martial arts school will buy the class or the music, play it in their class, and you go to the rhythm. And he's got superhero themes and stuff. He's also the DJ of Hyper, the official DJ. So if you ever heard our Hyper Pro training mixes that we drop every few months, Adam Kiefer's the guy. So we're going to talk about music, and we'll answer all your questions about how to make a good musical form, what's good music. We'll talk about the cool things about music, the bad things about music. So next week, it's going to be awesome. And I'm super excited to keep this thing going. And I have no idea. I've been trying to work through some glitches to try to get guests to actually, be able to be on the show. I've had some audio issues and stuff right now, but that's the way it is. I see you guys are dropping hearts. Thank you guys for tuning in. Before we jump into what are the best tournaments ever, let's see who's tuned in today. I'm going to drop some more hellos. The Boyers are in the house. Nathan, what up? Joey, what's up, dude? Anna, Evan, Michael. All right, guys. And my regs. I got all my regs in the house. Another shout out again to Carlos Gonzalez Jr. If you've been recently invited into the Live with Wolfman Facebook group, there's about an 80% chance that it was Carlos that invited you into the group. He took it upon himself. He's like, hey, can I invite people to the group? I was like, dude, go for it. And he was like, burp, 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 burp. And they just sent me a message. He's like, I've invited 400 people. I'm working on 500. I'm like, awesome. Let's grow this show, dude. Let's do it. So thanks, Carlos. Nikki, what's up? All right, so let's do this. Today we're talking about what are the best tournaments ever. You guys submitted what your favorite tournaments are, and I was going to do something really special today, and I was going to create this event. Spoiler alert! I was going to save this till the end of the show, but whatever. I'm talking about it now, so I'll just announce it now. I'm going to save this idea until a future episode because it's going to take a while for me to build this out. But I am going to officially announce on the live show today that coming up in the near future, Live with Wolfman is proud to present the International Tournament of Tournaments World Championship of Martial Arts. That's right. We are going to have a tournament where tournaments compete against each other to see who is the ultimate tournament. Yes, tournamentception, if you will. Some tournaments will die, and some tournaments will live. Only one can be the winner of the International Tournament of Tournament World Championship of Martial Arts. The Tournament of Tournament World Championship of Martial Arts is a 50A Triple Crown rated event. It's one that you will not want to miss. Registration is absolutely free. All you have to do to register to participate as a spectator is tune right in to the Live with Wolfman show. So as I continue to get your nominations, I'm building out a spreadsheet, and I'm making a seed and a bracket system based on your votes, your likes, your comments. Whatever tournaments gets the most suggestions are going to get the different seeds. So far, we have 34 tournaments that have been entered into the competition. I have decided that I'm only going to allow 32. So as I allow, as more numbers come in and we sort through the official seeds, we'll narrow down who are the top 32 tournaments that are going to be entered into the International Tournament of Tournament World Championship of Martial Arts. Boom! All right, so let's get into the show. We're talking about what are the best tournaments in the world. Let's just roll with it. So first off, I just want to hear you guys' opinion. In the comments, I just want you to say one thing that makes a tournament great. Like, what is something that you really value when you go to a martial arts tournament? Okay, and then we'll go from there. So I'm definitely just leaving this out open to you guys. This is your show. Whatever you got to say in the comments, that's the topics we're going to focus on. So Christy says, will there be a time warp? Oh, I'm probably only, you know what? These are, let's be clear on the the International Tournament of Tournament World Championships of Martial Arts. These are annual events that are still ongoing today. So if there was like one tournament in 1992 that you really liked and you had a good time, it doesn't count unless they're still relevant today. So just stick with the ones that happen every single year. Okay, cool. All right, so one of the things that people like is location and organization in a tournament. Organization all in caps, I mind you. So yeah, the location of a tournament. How many times have you gone to a tournament and it's in like a lame spot? I'm going to try really hard not to point out any specific tournaments, but I did have like a bunch of them pop into my mind right now. I was like, man, I hate that location. There's nothing going on outside of the venue. That's definitely a big consideration, right? Because your competition is only, 2 minutes when you're actually in the ring doing your thing? There's a lot of downtime there, and you might as well be somewhere where you can have some fun. So it's always good to have an amusement park nearby, or it's good to have, like, you're in a big city and there's all kinds of stuff happening, or, you know, it's just not lame, right? So location's definitely clutch. Also, obviously, it matters that it's close enough that you can get to. Let's be real, but if we're talking about a world perspective here, locale is not so important for me in this conversation today. We're getting in more. We're getting in more suggestions. We got U.S. Open as a suggestion. That's definitely on my top 32 list at the moment. It's definitely ranked up there. Not number one, by the way. I'm very interested. It's very interesting what is ranked number one. I think it's because I have a very biased audience here. Definitely my roots come into play. My location in the world definitely comes into play of how these tournaments are ranked, because they seem to be ranked by what's closest to where I live. Another great another great thing about tournaments is great food. People, Carlos is the one bringing this up, but he's like, I like great food. And then he mentions AK Warrior Cup, downtown Chicago. You got everything. You got those deep dish giant pizzas that are like soup, tomato soup in a piece of gluten. They're still good. What else you got? Compete Nationals. You got the In-N-Out, right? Give me a floating thumbs up if you guys have been to Compete Nationals and you've had In-N-Out. It's like mandatory every time you're in California. I don't know if that's like fine cuisine, but it's definitely a staple. In fact, I think Compete Nationals uses the In-N-Out logo as part of their promotion on their flyer, which is, it's both hilarious and a little sad. Let's be real. What else you got there? Do you guys remember? I used to go to Diamond Nationals. By the way, I'm wearing my Diamond Nationals like old school shirt today. I haven't worn this in literally years. This used to be my favorite thing back in the day. I remember at the old Diamond Nationals, they had this place is called Mickey's. It was like a diner, like, you know, those like diners that are like, they look like a 1950s like a trailer home, or not trailer home, but like, yeah, like a trailer. It's like silver and round, and it's got those like old school booths and stuff. And they had one of those like in the middle of the city, and it was open all night long. So after the night show, you could go walk down to Mickey's and like get like this greasy, gross food and stuff. I like going in the South. We go to Waffle House. I guess I just like late night, nasty, greasy food. I think that's like my flavor. I'm talking about In-N-Out and Waffle House. Yeah, you can tell kind of health level I have. What are your favorite places to eat? You guys are all dry. Philly cheesesteak, Amerikick. Yep. Amerikick, when next year they're actually going to be at a totally new venue, so I have no idea what to expect. But in the past few years, they've been at a venue across from this place called the Reading Terminal. It's wow. I mean, if you want to talk about food, wow. That place has everything. It's this giant market, this inside these buildings. You wouldn't know it exists until you walked in. It's just like this endless sea of so much. They got every kind of food you can imagine. You just walk up and get whatever you want. Like, drooling thinking about it. But of course, tournaments aren't just about food, so what else makes a great tournament? We got location, we gotta have food, we also gotta have organization, of course. I mean, how frustrating is it for a tournament to run behind schedule? And how often does that happen? Like every flipping tournament, it feels like they can't run their things on time. No matter how organized they are, they always seem to get backlogged. Big problem in the tournament world. So if a tournament can figure out the golden formula to have their tournament run on time, like, that's pretty amazing, because people do stay up. Some people on Friday nights, they'll be up past midnight waiting for their divisions to start when it should have ended at 8 p.m. It's like, why are you doing that? I've seen it several times too, where the daytime eliminations will happen all the way up till like 15 minutes, 20 minutes before the night show begins. I'm like, guys, let these guys have a snack or something. Like, give them a break. So running on time, being nice and organized is super clutch. What else got? Let's see what else you guys have to say. Clarity of the rings and where the divisions are clearly marked. Again, that goes back to the concept of organization. Yes, I think a lot of tournaments are pretty decent with that. I know some tournaments kind of wing it, and you just got to listen to the megaphone. They're like, go to ring 7 if you are 12 years old or whatever. Those usually the smaller ones. The bigger ones, they're a lot more organized, but it definitely you need to know where to go. I have a bunch of theories in my head how to make tournaments a lot better. Save that for another show. Dalton says media coverage and advertising. Yeah, there's not a lot of money in this sport. Dang. I wish that tournament promoters were able to attract more people, more bigger brands to sponsor the event. They just haven't. Decades have gone by, and they just haven't seemed to really figure out that equation. I'm not sure why it is. Maybe the tournaments are too small, or the tournament promoters just aren't selling it right. I'm not sure. I was thinking about this earlier today, actually, because I was thinking about Red Bull Kick It. Have you guys, give me a floating thumbs up if you've heard of Red Bull Kick It. For those of you that haven't, Red Bull recently started sponsoring a martial arts tricking / board breaking event, where they kind of combine the two into like a singular event. It happens in Korea. And that event, man, they kill it. They kill it. I mean, Red Bull, when Red Bull does something, Red Bull excels at what they do. And I don't see why the martial arts world is like 100, 200, 500 times bigger than tricking. So I don't get why a company like Red Bull can't come in and take over the martial arts world and do it right, and have the media coverage that we need, and have like the spectacle that we all want, that we don't see quite on the level that like some of us, like myself, have always dreamed it could be. The night shows have been getting better and better and better, but if you were at sometimes you go to these night shows and you pan and you look around and half of the seats are empty. And you're like, okay, they're not really performing to that many people. It's kind of a bummer. I want more people watching this show because this is a spectacle. But yeah, media coverage, totally agree with you, Dalton. I mean, I've literally committed my whole life to making martial arts have better media coverage. That's like what I do. Not doing the best of job with these crappy graphics, but I'm trying. Christy says that Red Bull needs a team too. They sponsor Travis Pastrana for every venture he undertakes. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I would actually argue that Red Bull needs to run the event. They need to host the whole thing. And yeah, maybe having a team is part of that. I think they have so much power and influence, and they know how to do events right. They would crush it. I don't know how far they're going to get just by sponsoring a kid. And they probably wouldn't have much to give as far as like what the sponsorship entails. Travis Pastrana, what was that guy? Some sort of action. I forget what was a BMX dude or something? A motorcycle guy? But like those sports have so much more money behind them. Even though they're not as popular, there's not many people involved with them, but there's more money. They are more organized. They got their act together. Martial arts does not have its act together. Or just add a sponsor for a tournament. Yeah, motocross, right? Michael Felix, remember when Budweiser used to sponsor really old school tournaments? I guess football was more important. Honestly, Michael, I've been following the sport for like 2 decades, and I don't remember Budweiser sponsoring. So that's like a long time ago. It's interesting. I'm not sure it's 100% appropriate for our sport, but neither is really energy drinks. But I'll take what I can get. Fine, Budweiser wants to sponsor karate. There's plenty of people in the martial arts industry that would approve of that sponsorship. Nathan says, having worked with Red Bull, it's not all you think. It's a lot of politics. All right. Well, let's not get caught up in Red Bull. I don't want to have this whole episode talking about why Red Bull isn't part of a tournament. But let's talk about what makes the best tournaments out there. What are the best tournaments? A big one in caps I see here is fair judges. Now, that is something that I have personally heard forever. I hear it today. There's like this big thing going on Facebook right now. Hashtag free Joey Castro. I don't know if you guys have heard that or seen that on your news feed. And this guy's going off about how he's not having fair treatment for his judging. And I've heard it from so many people. I hear it from extreme martial artists. I hear it from I did a whole episode recently venting about the creative division, how it's completely just not fair and illogical. Alex Reyes the other day was talking about how Diamond Nationals had a really unfair thing going on where they had a secret rule book that wasn't publicly available, so the competitors didn't even know the rules they were competing in. So in regard to fairness, yeah, we can go all day, all night talking about fairness of judges. Really tough. It's really tough because nobody is really there's nobody that's like taking responsibility for anything. It's always passing the buck onto someone else, and there's always a certain level of agenda of what you want the thing to be. And I think that's something that's happening in the sport today. Particularly, I see this in the traditional division. These judges, I believe, and this is just my opinion, don't get all mad at me. I'd love to have a tournament promoter come and explain this stuff to me, so it's not just me mouthing off. But I just want to share my opinion on it. It seems to me that the open circuits have been kind of humiliated on a world scale as far as their traditional, because, and I've seen this on Facebook before, where the real traditional people that don't ever compete in NASCAR, they don't compete in NBL, they don't do the open circuit, they're like really hardcore about their particular style. They'll take the traditional stuff from these events and they'll post it up and they'll go viral of people hating on it. These are like people that win world titles in these sports, and they just get laughed at because the iteration of how traditional looks in these open styles is very different than the actual traditional forms. And I think there's like this political movement to try to get the open circuit to kind of like go back to its roots so that they are competitive, so that somebody that wins traditional in a NASCAR event can qualify for the 2020 Olympics, for example, because they are adhering to what the rest of the world calls traditional. And I'm just going off on a tangent here about traditional, but yes, in a larger issue, there's a lot of fairness issues. We also got to worry about things like coaches being the judges for their team members, or I've seen parents being judges, and I'm like, are you really qualified to be a judge? I don't get it. Or judges not even paying attention, or judges just don't like your particular style of martial arts, or they don't understand it, or they're not qualified, or they don't know what they're looking at. It's like, man, having fair judges is a very difficult task, and I have yet to see or hear of a tournament that has completely unbiased and fair and accurate judging. There's always going to be a little bit of something you got to deal with, because we're dealing with people subjectively judging other people. Inherently, there's issues that arise when that happens. Michael says it's like comparing apples to oranges. That's what the open style, that's one of the big characteristics of open style tournaments like a NASCAR, like in NBL, is that you are comparing apples to oranges. You're having a Japanese style and a Korean style in the same ring. Not NBL. Just you go with me here. Or you're having a Songham Taekwondo and a ITF Taekwondo, I don't know, insert some other Taekwondo style, competing head to head. And like one style blocks like this and one style blocks like this. And it's like up to the judges, which judges you get of what they view as right, and like what's right in martial arts, what defines a good technique. It's hard. It's really hard, especially when you are like set in your way. If you're an old dude, you've been studying your particular style of martial arts for 30 years, 40 years, and you're like, this is definitely the way that you do the knife hand. And then some other competitor who was taught by someone else teaching martial arts for 40 years is like, no, you do it like this. They're going to go, you're wrong, and you lose points. And it's like, well, who's right? How do you judge that? I don't have the answer, but yeah, it is difficult. Woody says, I feel somehow martial arts needs to be promoted more through the public eye, maybe by flashy ways with more demo or hyper videos. Before I entered the world, I never saw anything about martial arts on social media. I do agree with you. I mean, I don't think every tournament should be a hyper tournament, but I get what you're saying. The reason why I'm involved with hyper and what I love about hyper is that here's a little backstory about hyper. Side tangent. Hyper's origins, when Roland Osborne and Jason Morgan started hyper, they wanted to change the martial arts game by not doing the same thing as what everyone else in martial arts was doing. So when they got their influence and they figured out like what to do to help the sport grow, they were like, I'm going to not pay attention to anything that the martial arts world is doing. No, thank you. We're going to look at what action sports are doing. We're going to look at what skateboarding is doing, what's BMX doing, what are all these like cool action sports that are getting sponsors from Etnies and Hurley and Nike and like you name it, all of these mega big name companies that are sponsoring these events and holding these X Games and stuff. Like, what are they doing right? What could we do? And then from there, they're like, well, we need better media, we need cooler clothes, we need a better image. And yeah, I do think that other tournaments absolutely, martial arts in general, absolutely can take a page from Hyper. And the industry itself is a very slow, very, very slowly growing. It takes forever for the martial arts industry to grow because there's just a lot of muck. I don't know. There's a lot of disorganization. So it's hard to get everybody to grow. But I totally 50 million% agree that having a better presentation to a mass audience is a way better way to go. If you can figure out a way to sell forms and sell point fighting to somebody that doesn't know what a form is or what point fighting is, just in the same way that the average person can go watch a UFC fight and not have to know what jiu-jitsu is or what good ground game is. They just watch it for the fun of the fight. We gotta figure out a way to like sell the other parts of martial arts in that same mass appeal. So totally agree with you. Great comment. I really appreciate it. Jet Leroy says a good step is getting martial arts into the mainstream media, like superheroes are now compared to years ago. 70s kung fu genre, 80s ninja craze, Matrix in the 90s are a good example. There does seem to be an ebb and flow in the martial arts world that reflects pop culture. When pop culture takes a hold of martial arts, you do see a rise in popularity of martial arts. When Karate Kid and Ninja Turtles came out in the 90s or the late 80s, early 90s, you saw a huge spike in the popularity of martial arts during that time period in the 80s and 90s, and that's when all this like commercialism, that's when like all of these like people started taking it way more seriously. It wasn't so much about these old guys with yellow sweaty armpits making you do knuckle push-ups. It was more like, all right, let's turn this into a real business and let's step up our game. And martial arts schools still try to do that. Now, the one thing I got to say, Jet, is that we are in such a fragmented society compared to those days. We live in the internet age. So back in the 80s, 90s, there was everybody had their eyes on the same thing. It was like, this is the movie coming out. Like, there's like 1 or 2 blockbuster movies per year. Go watch that, and the whole culture, the whole world was like focused on that thing. And now today, you know, you got a multi-million-dollar Avengers movie one week, and then you got a DC movie the next week, and then you got some other Star Wars movie the next week, and it's just like this the next thing after the next thing after the next thing. You got Kung Fu Panda, and you got like, it's great that these are all I'm just only talking about martial arts stuff. There's plenty of other blockbuster things, but plus you got YouTube channels, you got 100 channels on TV and satellite and Facebook. Now I'm fragmenting your choices of what you could be paying attention to, and so to try to get the whole world wrapped, like to get excited about one topic again is just tough. It's just really tough to do that again. But if we can somehow excite the world, or at least like a pocket of the world, to be more interested in martial arts, that's the way to go. Go Ninja, go! Yeah, who remembers that? Who's old enough to remember that stuff? Let's see what other comments you guys got going on here. You guys are just pumped that I said Ninja Turtles. Nathan says NASCA is already so far past any other country for CMX forms. To the rest of the world, any NASCA competition is like the Super Bowl. Nathan, I'm excited to talk with you next week when we can talk about this on Wednesday. It's going to be a great conversation. I'm super stoked about it. I will say, I think the reason why NASCA events have more going on is because, first of all, most of the NASCAR events are in America. America's a much larger country, and so that just breeds more competition. And then once you have more competition, the cream rises, and then that cream is able to bring up everyone else. So when somebody steps up a level, you can bring other people up with you. And so the more people keep improving, the more they can keep bringing everyone else up with them. And so there's always been this trend in the NASCAR world, because you're all buddies. You can easily take private lessons from world-class competitors because they live close by, things like that. Just the proximity of it and the culture of it. Yeah, it's my thoughts on that, but it's a good point. I am a fragmenter. Yo, let's talk about what makes. We're talking about what makes the best tournament ever. What is the best tournament ever? So let's just actually talk about some of your favorite tournaments. Period. Let's just list them out. Like, what do you got going on? I am building the International Tournament World Championship of Martial Arts event, and that's going to be dropping very soon. And I am going to be taking the top tournaments that you suggest, and we're going to be going head to head. Is this one better or is this one better? And one of them's going to die, and one of them's going to move on to the next round. It's going to be blood sport style Kumite. Whoopah! You guys, if I freaked you out, just go watch Bloodsport. Come on. Today's episode, again, is brought to you by Clarboom. Expensive, canned, sparkly water. If water's not in a can, it's not real water. All right, we got some suggestions coming in here. Infinity National Championships is the first thing I see right now. AKA World Cup, U.S. Capital Classics, ATA World Expo. I'm going to stop right there with those coming in. Talk about Infinity Nationals first, because it's first comment. And without a doubt, by far, let me look at the numbers here. Infinity Nationals had the most votes on my post. I got 60 people to vote for Infinity Nationals. So that's 60 likes. That's crazy. The next highest up was actually AK Warrior Cup with 29. So Infinity Nationals has twice as many likes than the second highest one, which is 29 AK, followed in third place right now. Battle of Atlanta's at 23 votes. Diamond Nationals at 22. So Infinity just smokes everybody. Now I think that's because the way I calculated things, this is how I measured it. If somebody said in the name of a tournament, I counted that as a vote, and then for every like, I counted that as a vote. And I'm friends with a lot of people from Infinity, so if they all voted each other multiple times, then that number is going to be inflated, and that's part of the reason why. But having been to Infinity Nationals myself, and having been to all these other tournaments, I gotta say, Infinity Nationals is pretty spectacular as far as how it's run. I mean, it is really cool. I made a really cool promo video for it. If you guys want to go check it out, go and look on Infinity Nationals Facebook page. They're like, yeah, do whatever you want, make a cool video, and I was like, you got it. I'm going for it. I'm gonna make something crazy. So go check that video out. But they have, first of all, they're at a water park, so that's dope. And for adults, they're in like the Indian reservation part of Wisconsin, so you can go out and gamble and stuff. And there's like, it's just basically a whole city of attraction and fun stuff to do. So like you could go there year after year and always have something new and cool to do at that tournament, outside of the tournament itself. But then within the tournament, they got cool stuff going on. They don't just give out the regular trophies with the really bad sidekick. They give out cool trophies. Like Grand Championship underbelt winners, they get a giraffe that has a bowl, and for its backside is a bowl, and it's full of candy. It's sweet. It's like a super cool, awesome experience. And then the people that win grands in the night show, they get like these like zebra heads for like the prize, and the eyes like glow and they're like creepy because they got like lights inside. So there's like electronics built into the trophy. It's madness. It's super creative, and it's very original, and it's very like authentic, and a lot of hard work and like love goes into that tournament, more so than I've ever seen ever at any other tournament ever. So I'm biased, but it's a great tournament. Infinity Nationals also, yes, it does have one of the best venues. It's at an event, or it's at a place called the Kalahari. It's a franchise resort. There's a couple of them across the nation, and it's just a massive resort. It has an indoor water park. It has an outdoor water park. What else has got going on? It's got a Ferris wheel in it, and like arcades, and a bowling alley, and it's just this huge complex. It's like a mini Disneyland, like in one little spot. It's crazy, very mini Disneyland. But we also have another vote here for the AKA Warrior Cup, which, like I said, is ranked second on my list right now. AKA Warrior Cup is held every year in Chicago. Little fact about AKA Warrior Cup: it's kind of two tournaments in one. It used to be called AKA Grand Nationals, and then there used to be a tournament called Bluegrass, and I've seen some votes for Bluegrass, but I can't count Bluegrass because it doesn't exist anymore. And then they kind of like joined forces, got the AK Warrior Cup. I personally haven't been to the AK Warrior Cup since 2007, so it's been 10 years. But I do know it's a spectacular tournament. Last year, they dropped such a sweet promo video. Stephen Rennie filmed this highlight reel, so if you want to go see a video that's even better than my Infinity video, go watch Stephen Rennie's AK Warrior Cup highlight video. Dang, he did such a great job. I was so impressed with that. That's how every major tournament promo video should be. It should be at that caliber, at least. That's a good starting ground for future events if you want to step up your game and make a great video project. But aside from the video itself, AK also is cool because that's the time that they give away the prizes at NASCA, so they have this big banquet and stuff. I'm actually going to go to AKA Warrior Cup this year, so it'll be the first time in 10 years that I've been there, and I'll be doing a photo shoot for Hyper for all the people that won world titles. So that's cool little. It's unofficial. I probably should have said that out loud, but I did. So here it is. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Win yourself a NASCAR world title, and I'll do a photo shoot with you. What's up, Shane? Jason McFarland says, "Sup, Jacob? Fixing to head to Nashville for the Music City Smackdown." Cool. I have had a few people vote for the Smackdown tournament. It's happening this weekend. Never been to it. I don't know much about it. I think it's run by Jason Warren and the Presley family, I believe. So, you know, they are gung-ho. They know how a tournament is supposed to go. They live and breathe tournaments, so I'm sure their event is pretty badass. So take pictures, take videos. If you guys are going to SmackDown, like, get some good media coverage for yourself, and that will help promote the event, but also promote yourself. And I just want to see what's going on down there. So do me a favor and make some good content for me, okay? Let's see. What else we got going on here? My iPad's dying. Sorry. Let's switch over to this thing here. It's a crazy video. Let's see. My iPad died. I got to switch gears to find out what your comments are. So again, we're talking about what are the best tournaments ever. So tell me what some tournaments are that you really like. Oh boy, you guys have so many comments. It's insane. Oh, let's watch a video. Carlos gave me a video link. He said, this is a video promotion for a really good tournament that's going on in 2 weeks. It's in Disney, and it's on ESPN. I think this is the the International Martial Arts Festival. I have heard of this. I have considered. I was almost going to go last year, actually. Hyper was trying to make it work. We just didn't have the resources. Or whatever it was. I think we had another event going on that weekend. So let's check out. I'm going to check this out. So we're going to switch over here. We're going to check out the International Martial Arts Festival promo reel. Let's see. All right, they got all the styles here. They got board breaking. They got Shaolin Kung Fu. They got extreme stuff. They got hardcore fighting. Cool. Cool. Now, if I gotta say anything, if that is their promo video and they're on ESPN, they aren't doing a good job with their media coverage. And going back to doing good media coverage, that was really bad. It makes me really mad. I can't. I wish I could just hold it back and like be positive about it, but that video is like child's play. I mean, not to discredit the tournament itself. Just angry. Sorry. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. I'm gonna do a little self promotion. Freaking deal with it. I'm gonna show you the video that I made for Infinity Nationals, and you can compare. And now, I'm not saying that my video is the best video ever. That's not my point, but it will hopefully open your eyes as to like a level that we could be taking tournament promotions up to. Boy, where is it? Jeff, where did you hide my video I made you? Here it is. Here it is. All right, now I went experimental on this because they let me do it. And so I got like a voiceover guy and stuff, but check this out. Tell me what you think. Here's the difference between what you just saw, some random like music that they took. I don't know. It just wasn't that great. Check this out. I'm super biased. I'm super mean. Deal with it.
Where life thrives, water flows. Water is the source of abundance. And at this place, you will find abundance everywhere. Abundance is the origin of competition. It is the stomping ground for warriors to do battle, to prove to themselves and to the world that they have what it takes to be crowned as a champion. Introducing the Infinity National Championships.
Yo, why is it pausing?
Infinity National Championships returns May 11th and 12th, 2018 at the Kalahari Resort and Convention Center.
No, I'm just kidding. That's not my voice. All right, so talking about media coverage, you just watched the International Martial Arts Festival, Disney World, ESPN, and the video is just like, all right, okay. And then this tournament, which has like 10%, if that, the size, way smaller. Like, look at how much better it is. I mean, I made it, so I'm super freaking biased. But like, when I created the video, I was like, I want to have an emotion. I want to be able to tell a story. I want to have it look professional. I want to step up the game of martial arts and make it look appealing. Like, you don't even have to enjoy martial arts to enjoy watching that video and appreciating it. And there's not too much of a difference. It's just like constructing it in a better way. So I'm going to shamelessly plug right now, if there's any tournament promoters out there that are watching this video and you want a video like that, what you just watched at your tournament, just send me a private message and we'll work something out, okay? Because I really want to step up the tournament scene. But anyhow, going back to the main topic at hand and stop shamelessly promoting myself and in all my Wolfman rants, which you guys seem to appreciate. We're talking about what are the best tournaments ever. So let me know what you guys think of what are the best tournaments. Like, what makes the best tournament? Let's talk about different tournaments in particular. And let's go from there. And then I'm going to build out my list of the International Tournament of Tournaments World Championship of Martial Arts, a 50A triple gold star event. That's right, a 50A triple gold star event. It's one that you don't want to miss. Registration is free. All you gotta do is sign up in the live feed by watching. Chris, I love this video. Amazing dynamics that match the music. It's got the African feel, which plays great with the tournament itself. Yes, sir. That was the point, right? I want to tell a story. I want to make a theme. I mean, you can't just give all the credit to the video. It's the contents of the video. Jeff Orlowski and Mike Welch put this event together, and the Kalahari itself is this African safari-themed venue, and so they played off of that, and they made an African safari-themed tournament. And it's just so cool and unique. And you go there, and like I said, you get zebra trophies and giraffe trophies, and there's trees and like all kinds of stuff. It's just a super fun, creative, cool tournament. And so I want to make a video that like sold that story. And I think every tournament has some. It's called the unique selling point, and I think every tournament has one of those. And there's just a lot that can be done. Like, if I was going to make a Diamond Nationals video, I would try to get the rights to Rihanna's "Diamonds Are Forever," and would do something with like luxury and diamonds and stuff like that. If I was going to do a Battle of Atlanta tournament, I would be like, all right, this is like Civil War thing, so like how can we like be patriotic with it? I'm just thinking out loud, but that's what I'd do. Like, I would try to like tell a story that mainstream culture can adapt, like can grab onto. You don't have to even do martial arts to like to have a feeling there, right? Be able to tell a story. And that's what it's about, telling stories. Phil says, I like the U.S. Open, but the competitors are spread so far apart in accommodations. Battle of Atlanta keeps everyone so close and fosters more relationships. Yeah, well, I mean, Phil, the thing is that it's at Disney World, the Colorado Resorts or whatever it is, and that's tough because the tournament is big. I think it's 5,000 competitors or something like that. Just as far as martial arts tournaments go, it's massive. So it's pretty tough to keep everybody consolidated into one area. I don't know how to do that. Maybe they can do a better job at it. I'm not like up to speed with the inner workings of that particular tournament and like how they decide what they decide. But it is a good point. Battle of Atlanta, everything is like a lot closer because it's all in one hotel. It's a lot smaller venue. So you just get out of bed, roll down the hallway, go down the elevator, and you're in the tournament, which I like. Disney World, you're going to make a commitment. You're like, I'm leaving the hotel, and now I'm going to walk all the way to the tournament. I better not have forgotten anything. So if I did, I'm in trouble. But, whatever. That's just the way it is. It's not a big deal. Ray Parker wants to correct me that was a Kanye West song I sang. Oh, shine bright like a diamond. That's what I meant. Sorry, Ray. Shine bright like a diamond. All right, we'll do Kanye and Rihanna, all right? Ray, just chill out, dude. What else we got going on? What else you guys got as far as suggestions? OMN is getting bigger every year. I assume that stands for the Ozark Mountain Nationals. I have heard of the Ozark Mountain Nationals, and actually, if I remember correctly, they also have a baller tournament promo video. I think that is the tournament I'm thinking of. So props to those guys for that tournament. I'm assuming that's an NBL or something. I don't really know. Maybe I'll go out there someday. It's close enough. Be cool to work with those guys. That's great. That's a great event. And tell me what you guys like about Ozark. What's so great about it? I want to know. I'm going to make the trip out. Sell me what makes a great tournament. Why is Ozark such a great one? Any mention of ATA Worlds? Ray, I have not mentioned ATA Worlds. Personally, I've never been to ATA Worlds. I've been to the ATA Nationals, Spring Nationals. This is the only ATA tournament I've ever been to. And I got to give a lot of props to ATA. And they are able to do certain things at their tournament that open styles can't do. Namely, the fact that they're a closed circuit, which means every competitor that enters the competition, they all compete with the exact same style. So in their world, when you compete in ATA, there is a right and a wrong. It's not so subjective. You can definitely like hone in on the judges' ability to judge properly because there's less wiggle room for interpretation. There's still some, and I know that there's still like problems within the ATA judging world, and they have certifications and stuff, but they do a lot of cool things. One thing I've mentioned on the show before that I like about ATA is that they really don't want to lose the tradition of their martial arts. And so anybody that does any creative or extreme competition, they have to compete in traditional in order to qualify for those other divisions, which I think is super cool. Because now you got to go and spend a fraction of your training time, focusing on the hardcore traditional techniques in order to even be competitive in that division to go compete in the other ones. So that's smart. It's a good play. I think NASCA could do something similar to that. It opens up a whole can of worms. And by NASCA, I mean open circuit. I also mean NBL. I also mean ISK. All of them that are like any style can come compete. Yeah. What's another? Oh, so for the Ozarks, a selling point, you have Lambert's close by. I don't know what Lambert's is. What's Lambert's? Water parks, silver dollars, city wonders of wildlife, and many things to offer here in Ozarks. I've never been to Ozarks. I'm watching a series on Netflix called The Ozarks. It's not really selling me, but I hear it's nice. Anybody ever seen Ozarks on Netflix? It's definitely like, I'd say it's an R-rated series, but it's got my attention. You can go check it out. Come make the trip, bro. So another shout out to Ozarks. Venue, professionally run, and promotion is top notch. Zero pressure, a lot of happy faces constantly. Their promo videos are epic. Cool. That is even shot in the Ozarks. I don't know anything about the Ozarks. It's called the Ozarks. They go say they're going to go to the Ozarks. Hollywood films typically aren't filmed where they say they're filmed. Seinfeld was filmed in LA, right? Fun fact, I used to live less than a mile away from where they filmed, I'm blanking on the show, Scrubs. When I lived in Hollywood, I lived right down, just like a 5-minute drive away from where they filmed Scrubs. I also think I lived very close to where they filmed The Office, which was not in Scranton, Pennsylvania, believe it or not. All right, but anyhow, this is I am now over my time limit. It's been my 1 hour live stream. We just went all over the board today talking about tournaments. I had a little bit of a Wolfman rant pop up here and there. We talked about what are the best tournaments, what makes a good tournament. We talked about some good ones. And yes, as a reminder, I'm building out the International Tournament of Tournaments World Championship of Martial Arts, a 50A Triple Crown Gold Star Elite World event brought to you by Live with Wolfman. That's the whole title right there. And it will be happening soon right here on this live show, so stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned next week when the show returns on Monday. I will be having my first ever live guest. Jeff Doss, president of NBL USA, will be with me later in the week. I'm going to have Urban Tricks, Nathan from the UK. He's going to be talking about all the stuff that's going on the other side of the pond. And then later in the week, I got Adam Kiefer, who will be talking about music. He's the music man, and he makes custom musics for personal forums. We'll talk about how to make music for forums, all that kind of stuff. So I got a lot going on in the show. This show just keeps getting bigger and better. If you haven't yet joined the Live with Wolfman Facebook group. It just launched yesterday. So go ahead and you can join that group, and that is where I'm going to have the archives of all of the stuff happening with the show. So you want to watch previous episodes, that's where you can find them all. This is episode 19? This is episode 19, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back on Monday, it'll be episode 20. Amazing. 19 freaking hours of live stream, nonstop talking. My throat is getting sore. Thank you guys for tuning in show after show, for giving the love, for hitting the share, for getting the floats, the floaty thumbs uppies. Really appreciate it. Bonus extra credit today if you hit that share button and go post it in the Century Martial Arts group. I think I'm going to start doing that once in a while because that's like the biggest martial arts group out there. It's got like 8,000 people. And if I had this show in there, we could draw a whole new audience to come and join us. And I think that would be pretty dope. Right now, it's just my Facebook friends. So we can grow the show a lot more. There's a big audience out there that'd be interested in this stuff. But anyhow, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great, awesome weekend. I will catch you up on that. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to mention, October is Hyperbully Defense Month. And if you are interested in helping be part of a campaign to end bullying, there's a simple, easy little task that I'm trying to get people of this show that are following the show to participate with. So if you're interested in that, please just send me a direct message after the show, and I will give you instructions on what the plan is. All right? All right, that's it. Officially, thank you. I'm out. Peace.